Hey everybody, it's Joric. Welcome back. I hope you're doing great wherever you are in the world. It's morning here in Lisbon, Portugal, so enjoying my coffee. And wherever you are, I wanted to go through, and for those of you that are Americans, maybe moving back to the US someday, here's some of the points that we're considering or our little to-do checklist that we have in place. It's ever growing, but this is the initial list that we have of things to do and who we need to communicate with as we're looking to move back. So first things first, I want to say thank you to all of you who shared, copied our apartment for sale listing with friends and family and groups, Facebook groups, Reddit groups. Greatly appreciate that. So hopefully we'll get more of the word out, get more showings, which will be great, and eventually get this place sold. So the first step is really, if you have property, putting it up for sale, if that's going to be your intention, and then seeing what happens. Next is contacting people to shut utilities off and communication services. So MEO is our phones and internet and television. So we contacted them saying, end of the month, we're going to be done. And then they gave us the location and time frame for us to turn in the equipment, like our little router box yeah, so we're going to be able to take care of that here in a few weeks. So MEO communications going to be done. Now, because our apartment is not going to be sold before we leave, I don't see any way possible that that's going to happen. We're leaving the water and electric on, partly because I believe we have to, so that for showings, people can see that the water's running, cold water, hot water, also the electricity. If they want to try the air conditioning, for example, they can try it to make sure that everything's in proper working order. So we're leaving that on, but we did notify those companies of a U.S. address, which happens to be our son's address. So just for bills and whatnot, they can communicate with us there. We also have contacted our attorney, someone that helped us with the immigration process, also helped us with kind of real estate dealings. And she is helping us when it's communicating with AIMA, which used to be SEF, but the body that handles immigration, AIMA. Also, she is helping with Social Security, drafting a letter to Portuguese Social Security, as well as the Portuguese SNS, the National Healthcare System, to let them know what our status is. So again, our attorney's helping with that. I don't know that she really needs to, but it's something that we're going to have her do. You might be able to do it on your own. And then with that, more of the notifications, letting our insurance carrier, now it's through work, so they know once our work is up, so is our insurance. So, but letting them know, hey, if there's anything else out there, here's our U.S. address, here's our son's address that you can forward all mail to. I would highly recommend, too, if you move to another country, if you can have a friend or family member that you can use as their U.S. address while you're gone, or a P.O. box someplace where you can get mail and maybe some mail forwarding, that is huge. So thankfully, we have our son, get to use his address. Bank, letting the bank know. So we already contacted them and they said, hey, a couple of days before you leave, just come in, give us your address, and if you happen to have a U.S. phone number, which I do, give that to them so that way communication does not get interrupted, because we're still going to have our bank account open to do the transaction of the apartment, but also we're going to have taxes next year in Portugal. So we need to keep that open and available along the way. So apologize, that's the sound of the washing machine going. Along with that, so going back to medical insurance, going to your doctors or hospitals, getting your medical records, getting copies of those, any procedures that you did dental-wise or vision-wise, if your glasses have changed, get copies of all that stuff, because when you go back, there's a strong chance that your medical provider is not going to have access to that information. So if you had a surgery, which I did, I want to make sure that they're aware of it and they know what my most recent diagnostics and blood work and yada yada is along the way. That's the bulk of the beginning. I'm going to make a separate video on shipping because that's part of our to-do list. So I'm going to go through some of the particulars and what we're keeping, tossing, or whatnot. I think that'll be a separate video. And then there will be more videos along the way as we contemplate more things. But I wanted to give you just a quick here's our initial to-do list of what we're looking to consider when we're going back. We have a lot that we have to think about in a short period of time. Furniture, contacting people. Like I said, I'm going to make a video about that. Will be coming up in a few days. But it's a lot to consider, and it's a short time frame for us to kind of get things in order, or as the Brits would say, get things sorted. So we're working through it. Hopefully, if you need to move back to the U.S. someday, some of these will be on your list, but I just wanted to let you know where we're at this point in time. As always, thanks for watching, and enjoy your travels.